Did she just say we get another mock budget this month? Why, yes, she did. Hey y'all, so before I get this video started, let me give a quick shout out. These were the first 3 comments in my last video. If you want to be featured in my next video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and come show me some love when I drop a new video. What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I got a second mock budget coming for you guys this month, and I hope y'all are excited about it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I ain't looked at no numbers. I actually decided to feature 2 before this month started. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get right on into this thing. Okay, so I have the paydays and everything. Let me read this last email that she sent me though. Okay, perfect. So she was very detailed about like her pay dates and her expenses and everything. I just had some questions about a couple things, and actually I just realized I left all my freaking pens in the other room. And while I'm getting my pens out, did y'all miss me? Something told me at the beginning of this darn month I wasn't going to be able to do it every single day in a row, but that's okay because y'all are going to get double videos today, double videos tomorrow, and we'll be back on track. I've been dealing with a couple of personal issues, and I wasn't in the mood. I'm not even going to lie to you. And it was like such a horrible mood that there was no way for me to fake the funk on camera. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to bring that energy. Let me just take a couple days off, and I'm just going to have to work hard a couple of these days and double up so we can come back to it. Okay. So we have 2 paychecks. We have the 13th, and I actually was trying to put this video out on Friday, but that's when some of the and it took her a couple of days to get back to me. So we have a payday here, and actually because I don't want to have to erase this later because there's some kind of due date here or something. All right, so the first payday is $13.0262. The second pay date is here, and that is $12.6930. These amounts are after all deductions, direct deposits, HSA benefits, all of that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I really wanted to feature this particular budget, number one, because of the pay dates. Like, she has a pay date. Her first pay date doesn't start until 13 days into the new month. And as you guys know, I say to always go based off of your first paycheck in that month, which means that her November budget would have went all the way to December 12th. It just happens that way. Now, if you decide that you want to do your months based on the 1st to the 31st, or however you want to do it, that's on you. The other reason why I want to do it is because she, like me now, and I still haven't made the video on this, but I'm now using my credit cards for almost all of my purchases. Actually, one specific credit card because of the points and how the points work. And so she basically does the same thing. She does practically everything on her credit cards, and then she pays her credit card bill. And so I wanted to go ahead and feature that. Now, the way that I'm going to write her expenses out is based on the credit cards, not like the actual expenses when they are due, if that makes sense. So first fixed expense is going to be, and we're going to write this in red, is on the 22nd. And that is Prepaid Legal. And that's $25. She has internet due on the 2nd, which means that in actuality, we are going to be doing the one that is due on January 2nd. And actually, you're not paid again until down here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're going to go all the way until February 9th. So we have, and why? There we go. So we're going to have the internet due down here. But the thing is, it's reimbursed on her second check. So I really just wouldn't. I mean, I guess you could include it. Yeah, we're going to include it. Okay, we're going to include it even though it's reimbursed. She has no rent or mortgage because she paid her mortgage off in 2016. Hello, congratulations. That's goals right there. Okay, so she pays the balance on all of her credit cards the second to last business days of the month. And so when it comes to her variable expenses for food, she says she spends on average $170 a month on groceries, $60 a month on dining out. And that is included in her Capital One credit card. Her Chase credit card is her car rental slash gas. So she mindfully spends on average about $300 a month. Household expenses are included in either Chase or Discover, and she mindfully spends on average about $100. Her cell phone bill is included in the Chase credit card amount, $14 on average based on data use. She uses Republic Wireless. I've never heard of that company, actually. Travel is included in the Chase credit card amount, and she said it's just $100 down payment for a cruise. Miscellaneous is included in credit cards. She mindfully spends on average $48. So the way that this is looking, she's essentially debt-free completely. There's not even a mortgage. So, excuse me, your budget will actually look a lot like mine, where it's just checking percentage and a savings percentage. She also has a U.S. bank, but this month it's $0. She has a water bill that's due on the 15th. And that's $35.36. She has a natural gas bill on the 23rd, and that is $12.75. So I did ask her what day this month she'll end up paying her credit cards, because she says she likes to pay it the second to last day of the month, and she said it's going to be paid on the 27th. She says she pays her house and car insurance in June. She has a sinking fund. She pays her real estate taxes. That's $1,300. In December, she has a sinking fund for that, so I don't have to include that. She says all her credit cards have rewards points and bonus cash, and she rotates it as needed to get the most bang for her bucks. And I'm actually going to talk about this in my video and why I'm actually using credit cards again now. So how am I going to do this? Because her Capital One was due on the 2nd. But because she mindfully spends, pay the current balance on the second to last business days of the month for all the credit cards. But I don't understand, because she said it was due on the 2nd, but she's paying it on the 27th. Oh, maybe these charges were racked up during the month. No, because she sent me this before the month started. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to include her numbers. I'm going to use the exact numbers that she gave me. How do I do this? Because she sent me these numbers. No, she actually sent me these December 3rd. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. She has the due date as December 2nd, but I'm going to change the due dates for the credit cards, number 1 to the 27th, because she said that she pays it the second to last business day inside of the actual month. But technically, her next due date would be the 2nd of next month, which is inside of her December budget. So we have a bill of $210.22. And because she mindfully spends about the same amount every month, I feel comfortable doing this because her amount should be about the same each month. There's nothing for U.S. Bank. Okay, and so another thing that she does, she puts $500 a month into her sinking fund. So we need to be mindful of that. 500 sinking fund. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, so this is the only thing about not looking into things like in great detail before you make the video, but I like to do it that way so that I don't already come into it like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. No, because I want y'all to see me like work these numbers out and everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and transfer everything over here. So her water bill is $35.36. Oh yeah, y'all, I don't know why, but these are going out so much quicker than they normally do. And it's just my black ones. And I don't know if it's because They came in just the pack of blood. Like, I don't know. I don't even know. All right. Water bill is there. Let's put Prepaid Legal here. And I think that's life insurance, if I'm not mistaken. Natural gas bill is $12.75. And how are we going to put the credit cards? Okay. Natural gas is there. Internet is $50.72. I'm not going to put the... Okay. This is what we're going to have to do. So because she pays her variable expenses with her credit card, and why did I do that? Because she pays her variable expenses with her credit card, we can't put the credit card as a fixed expense, because in doing so, we're allocating later on, because we're keeping money in our checking for the credit card bill, but really the credit card bill is because of a variable expense, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because she's spending the money on these variable expenses like variable expenses, and she kind of averages around the same amount, which means that we're actually going to have to put the credit card bills under variable expenses. This is tough, because I don't know if I want to put... No, I know how I'm going to do it. Okay, so cell phone bill is $14. I know how I'm going to do it now. Look, see, y'all get to watch me, like, think this stuff out. Okay, so the Capital One monthly spend $170 on groceries, and she said that's her average. So let's do 170, because remember, we go up on our percentage to give us that cushion just in case it's a little bit more than that. She does $60 on dining out, $300 for car rental and gas. So I'm going to change. This is like transportation then. She does $100 on household expenses. Cell phone, sinking funds is $500. I'm not worried about that. She did a down payment for a cruise. So let's go ahead and put travel here. And that was $100. And she spends about $48 on miscellaneous. Okay. I think I got this now. I think I got it. So let's go ahead and add up the fixed expenses. 35, 36, 14, 50, 72, 25. So the reason why I'm going to treat this as if the credit cards are not there is because regardless, we still have to allocate our money a certain way, because these are variable expenses. Period. And so we're still going to do things normal, even though she's using credit cards for her purchases. Okay. So her fixed expenses only come... Girl, I'm jealous of your fixed expenses. Can I have them? $137.83. And then let's go ahead and do the variable expenses as well while we're down here. 60, 300, and then 148. 778. Okay, so let's come back up. So the income... Oh, I got it up there. The income, we have $1302.62, and then we have $1269.30. So that's $2571.92. The fixed expenses are $137.83, which means the net income is $2434.09. Y'all, this is gold. Let me tell y'all something. People always think I have to make more money, and don't get me wrong, you should try to make as much money as you can in your lifetime, but it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. Her being debt free, including her mortgage, do y'all see? She literally, if she wanted to take a whole like 2 weeks off from work, one of her paychecks would still cover all of her fixed expenses, all of her variable expenses, and she still would have like $400 or $500 left over. That is called freedom, okay? When you can buy your time back in that manner, that is what you should be striving for, okay? So the budgeted expenses or variable expenses is only $778. So if we divide that by the 2434.09, that gives us 31.9%. Now again, she's completely debt free. So guess what? We only have to round up to the nearest 5%, not 10. Now, if it's something like for instance, this month is Christmas, you know, so she could go up to 40% just to give herself some extra cushion. Maybe there's a lot of sales that go on. I know a lot of people have been talking about Bath and Body Works and stuff like that. So she wanted to give herself some extra money just because she can go up to 40%. But I'm going to do it like I do my budget. So that's 35%. So in order to figure out what is 35% of this number, we have to do that math over. So we're going to take the net income and we're going to multiply by 35%. So that's going to give me $851.93. So she has an extra $74, which is good because all of her numbers she gave me was an average. So sometimes she spend less, sometimes she might spend more. Okay, so that means that for savings, she is going to have 65%. So let's just take the 2434.09. We're going to subtract, and that was the net income. We're going to subtract what we kept in our checking for variable expenses, and that gives $1582.16. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. She says she does $500 for sinking funds, so I'm just going to literally write sinking funds. Which means that she still has $1,082.16 left over for any kind of savings. So if you don't have like your mini emergency fund of $3,000, start funding that. If you do, that means this needs to go into your true emergency fund. Now, your true emergency fund is supposed to be 6 months worth of your fixed expenses, right? Because your fixed expenses are so low and anything can like happen, like anything, you know, I'm just going to say anything can happen. I would just go based off of like, you can do your fixed and your variable expenses together. So that totals out to like $900. So let's just up that to $1,000. So your true emergency fund should be at least $6,000. I always say just go up to $9,000 for just in case. Like that's what mine is. My fixed expenses and variable expenses are pretty low as well. And I have my true emergency fund of $9,000. So if you don't have these two just yet, I would start to push money there. If you do, start saving for practically anything. Maybe you want to get into real estate investing. Who knows? But you can start saving towards that. All of that is really up to you. So at this point, let's go ahead and get into the paycheck to paycheck budgets. Pull this back out. Okay, so the date is 12/13. Income is $1,302.62. Then we have 12/27, and that's $1,269.30. Now let's go ahead and with the budget. The total budgeted expenses were $778, but this is where things are going to change around. So typically you guys see me take my budgeted expenses and I split it by however many paychecks or weeks that I do my pay weeks. I can't do that for her because she does everything on her credit cards. Now, even now with me, when you guys start seeing me do my paycheck to paycheck budgets, everything is going to stay the same because I literally pay my credit card bill every single week. Whatever I run up, I pay it right then and there. I don't wait till the end of the month like she's doing. So her paycheck to paycheck budget is going to look a little bit different. So for her paycheck one, the only expenses that she has her water bill. That's $35.36. She has Prepaid Legal, and we're still going to do the weekly allocation page as well right after this. And then she has her natural gas bill, and that's $12.75. For this paycheck is when she's paying all of her credit card bills, which is all of her budgeted expenses. So she gave me the numbers here, which the numbers that she gave is a little bit more than the $778, which is why I gave her up to $851.93. Because if I add up what she said her credit card bills are right now, plus $521.70, $60.08, that's $792. So that's more than what her budgeted expenses were based on her averages, but it's still less than the cushion that I gave her, which is why I give the cushion. So what I would do if I were you, when I do my paycheck to paycheck pre-planning, I would do it based on this number, not this. Like, still do this, but when you actually put it into here, I would put this number. And typically I wouldn't say do that, but I would say it for you. This is a good example as to why. So we're going to go ahead and do the credit card bills. So we have 210. Actually, this is a lot of thinking. Yeah. So when we pre-plan it, and okay, so this is what I'm thinking about. If she always pays it at the end of the month, but most of them are due at the beginning of the month, that means that we're doing this based on what would be January 2nd's bills, not the numbers that she gave me, because these were due like up here, if that makes sense. So in pre-planning, we're going to use the $851.93 because this is based on what she might spend during this month, okay? And then she has the internet bill as well of $50.72. Okay, so let's go ahead and do these numbers. Wait, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? 62, 35, 36. This has been a lot of thinking. And it shouldn't even be that hard, but it's because of the way she does the budget with the credit cards. And that's okay. Everybody got their way of doing things. $1269.30 minus the $851.93. So paycheck one, the leftover is $1229.51. And I always say it's better for you to have more money left over at the beginning of the month, like your first paycheck, than to be short in your first paycheck. That's the worst when you're short. So $1229.51 plus $366.65. We have a total of $1596.16 left over. Why is that? $14. Oh. So I was trying to figure out, like, why do I have $1596.16 here instead of $1582.16? And that's because there's a the cell phone bill is not in there. She pays the cell phone bill with the credit card as well. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So she pays the cell phone bill with the credit card, but on this paper, the cell phone was included in the fixed expenses. So that's why the number is off by $14. But because I went up from $778 to $851.93, the $14 is really kind of included in here. So it's still a fixed expense, but because she pays it with the credit card, it's kind of like the budget is kind of working out where it's actually going to be included over here. So it's absolutely fine. So how we're going to use the leftover income, this is how you fix that part. So we know $14 is going to the cell phone bill. The other one she doesn't pay with a credit card. And then $500 is going to go to the sinking fund. Yeah, if you ever can't figure out why your numbers aren't working out, just subtract the two and figure out where the difference lies. And my camera's about to cut off. So that's going to leave me with $1082.16, which is what we have here. And I say use it for whatever you want to. The way you looking, girl, you can go on a vacation every month if you want. Enjoy your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the weekly allocations page real quick. And I'm actually going to use the back of this paycheck to paycheck budget. Okay, so our threshold is $137.83. We have the checking is 35%. Savings is 65%. We have no debt. Paycheck 1, paycheck 2. So paycheck 1's income is $1302.62. Paycheck 2 is $1269.30. Okay. So the first week, of course, we've already reached our threshold. She more than reached that. So we take the $1302.62. We have to subtract out $137.83 because we have to reach our threshold or earn enough money for our fixed expenses before we start to allocate the $35.65. Okay, so this is going to stay in our checking for our fixed expenses. Bam. So let's go ahead and subtract that out. We're left with $1164.79. This is what we're going to allocate. We got 35 for our checking. And what stays in our checking this time? Variable. And then we have 65 for savings. So 35% is going to be $407.67. $407.67. So you're going to send $757.12 to your savings. So you can go ahead and fund your sinking funds the first check. And then this extra $257.12, you send that to whatever, like emergency funds, whatever, because you never want to stop saving, especially because the sinking funds that she has are for her insurances and stuff like that, things that she pays on a yearly basis. Her real estate taxes and stuff like that, or her property taxes. So you still want to save extra money on top of that. So I would send that to emergency funds or whatever, like fund sinking funds that you have. And then we keep this for our checking. So let's go ahead and write that in. $757.12. But what we're not going to write in is the $407.67 for checking. Why? Because remember, we also kept this in our checking for fixed expenses. So let's go ahead and add that back in. And that'll give us the total. Is that right? Yeah, it should be. $407.67 plus $137.83. Not minus, plus. Yeah. Okay, so we kept $545.50. And if we add that going across, that gives us our check. So now when it comes to our second paycheck, we are literally allocating this entire thing, because once you do this allocation math, once this was the week we hit our threshold, we're just going to keep allocating the entire checks from there on out. So 35% is going to be $444.25. And some people will round up because there was a 5 here. I just drop. Whatever the first two numbers is what I go off of. So $1269.30. We're going to subtract the $444.25. And that's going to give me $825.05. send that off to savings as well, and you're done. So you have, let me tell y'all, again, this is goals. Like, to be completely debt free, including a mortgage, is goals. That should be goals for anyone. And you guys can see, because a lot of people, their biggest expenses are car notes or mortgages or rent. So yeah, and I know not everyone wants to own a home. For me personally, I don't want to own a home unless it's an investment property. But still, you have a really good budget going on here. I would just say continue to save money. And you can do like I do. Like, I have a miscellaneous / investment sinking fund. So I continue to save money there so that when I want to start investing in certain things in the future, I have that ability to do so. Because at the end of the day, the more money that you make, especially passively, not having to actually exchange your time for money, the better. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this mock budget. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave them down below. Please thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.